Five.
Hello again, everyone. This is Richard Weil, and I am the owner and principal of National Restaurant Consultants, and we welcome you into the 177th edition of the NRC Helpful Moment. And today is going to be about keeping your operation fit, but more than anything else on the maintenance side of things, we're going to talk about. But I'm going to first welcome in Mr. Brian Devine and from CafeFuel and Top Line Management. Hello, Brian. How are you today?
I am great, Richard. Thank you.
We're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but today I want to introduce someone who was with us maybe a couple months ago. Steve Pierce has joined National Restaurant Consultants as a senior consultant in the Seattle market, but he works throughout the United States. And we're just so delighted Steve is now part of the NRC family. How are you this afternoon, Steve?
Doing well, doing well. I'm really happy to get involved with NRC. It's been great so far.
Well, great to have you. So today, Steve's going to talk. He is an expert in operations, an expert in facilities. He's going to talk about some of the things that are so important, and that is when you look at your restaurant. Oftentimes, we're looking at it from a quality standpoint on the food, the service, the staff. But if you're not looking beyond that through the eyes of your customers on the maintenance side and deferring maintenance or light bulbs or lots of things like that, Steve's going to touch on that today. So, Steve, if you would take it forward, please.
You got it. Well, and that's a great lead in because, I mean, really the maintaining your building, maintaining your facility, your equipment, not only is it about the ambiance, but it's about your people. I always break everything down into three areas: people, sales, and profit. And if you're maintaining your equipment, which you should be on a daily basis and keeping the proper checklists and really emphasizing it, you're going to be taking care of your people. Because one of the things, especially in today's market with all the challenges we have with labor, you don't want to create a frustrating or stressful situation for your teams. And having to work with broken or faulty equipment or having unsafe equipment that could cause a fire or slows down the process, that creates a lot of stress for the employees. And that staff does not want to deal with that, and they won't for very long. And so when it comes to the people, they're being able to do their job safely is probably the biggest reason right now to make sure it's happening. But then, secondly, there's a sales component to this. If you're not effectively kicking the food out, using the equipment right, and it's coming out safe and all the other good stuff, if you slow down your sales because you're not able to produce your product, you're killing yourself. If your product's inconsistent, the quality's not there, all of those things are going to have an effect that's going to ultimately cause a decline in your sales because people want to come in and have a consistent quality product. And if you're not even keeping your stuff calibrated, repaired, working, not to mention, hey, if something goes down, I was in the barbecue business for a long time, and the smoker is the heartbeat of the restaurant. And if that smoker goes down, you're out of business. You might have enough product to get through the next couple hours, but you're done. And a day's loss in sales just is not a profitable thing, and it doesn't help your sales. So I really look at it that it's the people, it's the sales, and then again, your profits. There's a number of things that are going to go on here. Is that if you're not maintaining the equipment, you're going to have to replace it sooner. And anybody that's been in the business more than a minute knows that kitchen equipment has gone through the roof in the last year or two or three. And not only that, the delivery times, you're not talking about getting something delivered tomorrow. You're 3, 4, 6, 9, 12 months out to get the right equipment sometimes. So, that profitability is getting killed if you're having to replace capital equipment. Not only that, if you can extend that shelf life of that equipment, if you can get that oven that's good, that's got a 10-year life, and you can get 12 or 13 or 14 out of it by really keeping up with the gaskets and keeping up with all of the little things that go on, the burners, all of the minor repairs that if you're maintaining on a daily basis, well, cause that thing to last a lot longer. I mean, that's $10, $15, $20,000 depending on what item we're talking about, and a lot of them are even more. So that's really kind of the biggest reasons why this is really important. But I mean, to get down to the basics on what I'm really talking about is that you've got a lot of equipment in your restaurant, more than likely. You've got ovens, you've got stoves, you've got a grill, you've got fryers. Fryers are, those are the bane of our existence, because you mess one of those things up and you're talking about a fire, more than half the time. So there's just a lot that can go on there. So making sure you've got a preventative maintenance program in place that's on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly basis, that your hoods are being cleaned properly, not only because the health inspector is going to be looking for it, because it will help keep your expenses down, and it will make sure that hood lasts longer. Making sure that your people are cleaning your equipment properly, they're checking every day, that they're keeping those gaskets on the refrigeration clean, they're going in and they're cleaning around the filters and stuff going into the compressors. All of those things, it's just another of the million things that we have to do in a day, but those are the kind of things that somebody's got to have on a checklist, on a daily duty, on a weekly duty, and the management has got to be following up, because if not, that 5 or 10 minutes of following up on the equipment is going to cost you thousands of dollars and all of the things I've already described.
Yep.
So you and I, Richard, especially, we spend a lot of our time working with guys that are starting their business, and we don't spend, we help a lot of guys that are already open and working, but the guys that are starting, we have to start them on the right spot. But those are the kind of things that when they're starting, we've got to make sure that they've got all of their warranty information sitting right in front of them. They've got it in a binder that we have given, that they know that they've got this, and they've got to have these checklists, and this is part of their daily duties or weekly duties, this kind of thing.
It's as important as side work with your servers. And doing that 5 or 10 minutes, while you think it's going to cost you money on the labor side, it's going to save you money on the labor side, because you're going to have better equipment. Your staff's going to feel better, as Steve was pointing to. And these components that Steve's saying, these lists, we talk about marketing, and this is going to be the segue. I'm going to throw it over to Brian here in a second. We talk about lists for marketing and promotion. These lists to make sure that the daily, and either if it's twice a day, if it's mid shift, after shift, or morning shift, whatever, you got to follow those things. So Brian, lists, we're going to throw it over to you on lists.
All right. I appreciate that. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Steve. It's funny. So I almost always talk about lists, but today, because we are talking about keeping your operations fit, and we want to make sure that we also are thinking about our digital marketing and keeping that fit. And normally I would be saying, yes, build your list, which I will still say, build your list. However, for maintenance purposes, you have to make sure that your website is rock solid. And that means that you check it on a regular basis, that you don't go 3 months and then find out that there's a missing page or a broken link or a button that doesn't work on your website. Make that part of your lists of what you're going to do on a regular basis, so that you can go in and make sure that your website is doing everything that it needs to do. It also means that you want to look at other people's websites and start looking at what trends are happening, what's going on in the world of websites, because it does change. And if your website's like 5 years or older, you might want to consider a new one, because what happens is it won't display quite right on a mobile phone. And we know that more and more people are going through their phones. So again, we want to make sure you're optimizing everything on the website, on that digital side. So have your phone number high, bright, and to the right. You have to be able to find that phone number and make it clickable. So if I'm on my phone, I can just tap it and call you, and make sure that all of your buttons and links are working properly and that it looks great on a mobile phone, and build your list. All right. So that's all I wanted to cover today. Richard, Steve, thank you so much for everything. I'm going to sign us off, and I'm going to put on our super awesome outro video here that I think is the best, and we'll take it from there. Steve, is there anything you want to add before we go?
Well, it looks like I'm frozen. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, but you're definitely frozen.
Yeah, I think that covers it. And Richard, just so you know, he's signing us off. So
well, that's good. And I'm sorry we're having a little technical, but that should take care of our 177th NRC Helpful Moment. I want to thank Brian Devine as always, and of course Steve Pierce again. Welcome to the family here. And that's it for everybody. So long for now.
Bye
Bye.
for now, everybody.
thank you. Bye-bye.